Hi, my name's Judy.
And I'm Ceci.
And together we are
Two Girls on a Mic. Do elevator music. Welcome back to another episode of Two Girls on a Mic, where we talk about relationships today. Random stuff like yesterday.
Last
Wednesday. We're tired.
We are. It's early. It's not that early, but it's early for us.
To be recording, it's early for us because, we have to wake up, get ready,
For sure.
And it's a Saturday. It's the first Saturday we've recorded.
I'm so tired.
Yeah. But we're here. We're here. We're making it happen.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah.
I should have got coffee. I don't know.
Yeah, you shut up with that. I was like, it's like 9:30. But, today's episode, we're going to be talking about more relationship stuff that I've an account we've come across on TikTok, and then from there on, like, kind of other stuff we see on TikTok, because the internet is where you see everything, and we have opinions on it. But before we get into that, just going into how our week has been. I know for me, I've been very tired because last Saturday night, Saturday I worked, and then I went to a Freddie's barking, if you can hear that. I worked, then I went to my little cousin's birthday in Corona, and then after that I went to your place and didn't leave until like 2 or 3 in the morning.
I know.
And the next day I woke up kind of early, and this whole week I was so exhausted at work. I was not able to recover because I would come home and try to go to sleep early, but it would still be kind of late. I'm like, ugh.
I forgot about that Saturday.
Yeah, so I'm fixing my sleep schedule this weekend.
My work my week at work has been okay. I mean, it's been up and down. Yesterday I left super late from work. I left at 6:30. I know, but because one of my coworkers is going on vacation, I was just like, fuck. That means I have to take over her work. Which isn't a lot. It's more like employee relations. And I was just like, I don't like dealing with those. Just because they're so annoying because they're so petty.
Yeah. He looked at me the wrong way.
I'm not even going to get into it because there's some dumb thing that came up at work and I'm just like, let me refrain from talking about those specifics.
Yeah. And then yesterday I went for Steve's birthday. He's been on the podcast 1 or 2 times, I think.
And he usually interrupts with my watch, so that's why I know him.
But yeah, it was his birthday yesterday, so we went to Disneyland, and it was fun. I was tired there too, but I think.
But you were happy because you were at the happy.
I was happy, and you know what? I've been doing a lot better with self-control of my spending.
Okay, well, that's good.
I was like, I really want this. If you're a Disney fan, that Toontown, they released these picnic baskets because they remodeled Toontown.
I saw that, yeah.
And so there's little grass areas where you could sit and have a picnic. And I really want that basket. And I was going to get it, but I didn't. Mainly because I didn't know where it was. And it was later, but we'll see next time I go.
Send me a picture of it.
I'll show you one right now. Okay. There's pictures on Safari and stuff.
Nice. Okay. I've been wanting a picnic basket, so.
And it has a little glove that I think you could put your hand in there that makes it look like your Minnie.
Oh, I'll dress up as Minnie.
Sold.
Disney, hire her.
Again.
But other than that, I mean, I've been working out so consistently. I feel like I'm getting sick. I will get the recipe throw.
To last week, Richie got mad at me for not even being sick.
See, you got me sick.
I wasn't even sick.
But I should be fine. My body doesn't hurt. It's just a scratchy throat. I'm hoping that I can just
a raspy. I always wanted a raspy voice. Juliet Sims has a really nice singing voice, and I think it's because she has a raspy. And I'm like, why couldn't I be born like why couldn't maybe I should just start smoking. Just kidding, don't do that.
We don't promote smoking here.
No.
But if you want to.
But But yeah, for Thankful Thursday, I'm thankful for my lungs. No, but I'm thankful for my friends. I feel like this since last week, it's been very like friend heavy, and it's like, I mean, we've mentioned it on the podcast before how we both like have never really had a circle that we could like just be ourselves in and like trust each other with. So it's nice to have that and not feel like you're being judged just by saying what's on your mind.
Yeah, or acting weird.
Yeah,
or quirky.
Yeah. She's just a different girl.
I'm gonna say I'm thankful for the same things, but specifically because it showed a lot last week when it was pretty much like an SOS call from one of our girlfriends, and we were like quick, like you were like in 2 seconds you replied to that text, like, yeah, let me know, like,
yeah,
I'm here, but I can be there.
Yeah,
same thing with me. So I love that we're able to do that, where it's like, yes, we're busy, but we'll drop that time, and then make the time to be there for the person. So
yeah, I'm
grateful that we have that circle where we can actually count on each other.
Yeah. But yeah, on to this week's topic. We might get heated.
A little bit.
Just a little bit. It's about relationships. So there's this guy called Therapy Jeff, and he is like kind of the inspiration behind this video. I've been following him for a while, and I want to say I'm like 50-50 on him. I think I mentioned him on the last episode, but there's some stuff he says where I'm like, okay, that makes sense, and like, yeah, I get that. But there's also some other stuff where I'm like, and he's like, I think he is a licensed relationship therapist, so he knows more than I do. But but I feel like obviously everybody's relationship is different, so I want to preface that, like, just because some of this is good for one relationship doesn't mean it's good for yours,
right?
Especially if you're feeling like your relationship is coming to an end. You know, you're always looking for like the right stuff to keep you to stay, but sometimes it's just you gotta let it go. And it's hard. I know that decision is hard, so like hearing stuff like, oh, like it's normal for couples to do this, and then you get in your own head like, well, we do that, so maybe we're okay. But yeah, just like know where you are in your relationship before you start taking advice from everybody.
For sure, yeah, because there's times where relationships, they're only meant to be a certain amount of time. Yeah, you know, like
it's not gonna be your forever thing. It's very rare when your first one is like your forever
like it
thing.
Feels like it's your forever, but there's other, you know, people out there that may be a better fit for you, even though you feel like that's not the case. Eventually, you know, like
and I think Matt reposted this on Instagram. It's like you have 3 loves of your lives, and basically all the ones before 3 is like how they teach you to appreciate like your actual like the end love, I guess you could say, how you learn from a lot of that. And there's also memes of like whenever a guy treats you right, thank the girl that came before him, because like he had to learn from somewhere, which isn't always the case. There are some good guys out there that are just good guys. But yeah, so we're gonna be looking at some of the stuff he like not necessarily says is good for a relationship, but like stuff that he says is like it could happen, so don't freak out. And also some other stuff that like we've just seen on TikTok that's like related to relationships. So the first one we put is like hurting your partner
unintentionally,
yeah. I can understand this because especially in the beginnings of relationship, you don't know those like buttons yet,
or boundaries too.
Yeah, so you might be pushing them and you don't know, and maybe either the partner's like too scared to be like, hey, I don't like that,
right?
Or you just like, it's a new relationship, you might not be taking it 100% seriously,
right?
So I think in this video he said that you probably are going to unintentionally hurt your partner, and I think that's true, because I feel like I've definitely done that unintentionally with Matt, and he's done it with me, and it's just something where you have to not hold that grudge. Like
you have to let them know, like, hey, this, I don't like when you do this.
Yeah,
because they may think it's funny or cute or, you know, whatever, but it's, if it makes you feel uncomfortable, you don't like it, makes you feel bad, or whatever the case may be, you have to be able to speak up and say, hey, I don't like when you do this because it makes me feel like this.
Yeah,
because even though it may be uncomfortable, but you still have to have those uncomfortable conversations.
Yeah, and if you do like try to keep it like, maybe it didn't, maybe he didn't, whatever, or she, and yeah, it's gonna just bottle up inside you, and you're gonna end up like feeling resentment,
Mhm.
and it's all you're gonna think about.
Right.
So like it's just gonna take over your brain, and that's not what you want.
And they're not gonna know. So
Mhm.
you're gonna be upset with them and they have no idea why.
Yeah.
So it's kind of unfair to the partner as well. Because it's
Mhm.
like, well, you're not telling me that you don't like this. And
Yeah.
they may continue to do it
Mhm.
because they think it's okay.
Yeah.
Obviously, if it's something
Extremely
like something they know it's bad, okay, well. But if
That's
it's something
different,
that's, you know, that may be considered okay, where
Yeah.
like say, like I know like Derek doesn't like getting tickled in certain places because he
Mm.
just doesn't like the
Yeah.
feeling. And if I continue to do it, but he wouldn't have told me anything, I would have
Mhm.
been like, oh, it's cute. It's a cute moment, whatever.
Yeah.
But for him, it's like he doesn't like it. So
Mhm.
when he told me, I was like, all right, I won't do it.
Yeah, that's something. So me and my family, we like we bully each other. We make fun of each other a lot, but it's like kind of like our own love language.
Mhm.
And when I first started dating Matt, I realized I'm like, maybe I'm going like too hard.
Mm.
And I talked to him about it. He's like, yeah, it's just I'm not used to it. I'm like,
Mm.
okay, let me like reel it back.
Yeah.
We can get a little crazy. And then yeah, those little like tickle sessions are like
Mhm.
just being like little remarks to each other. It turned
Yeah.
into like this huge thing where you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
So yeah, like make it fair for both of you. For if you are feeling a certain type of way, just be honest.
Mhm.
Because like if it is the one, they'll understand. And if
For
it's
sure.
not, then why do you want to be
Mhm.
with someone that's not respecting that?
Right. Mhm.
So it's gonna happen sometimes. Again, it depends on like the severity of what
For
they're
sure.
doing, but if it's like small things, then yeah. Another one is this is more so for a breakup, so not getting the full closure. And we've been around a few people or a couple people that are going through breakups.
Yeah.
And I think this is true based off of my last breakup, which is I've only really had one that was like kind of like upsetting to me.
Mhm.
And it's true, you don't get full closure, especially because if you're like me and you overthink a lot,
Right.
after you have that last conversation,
Mhm.
you think of more questions.
Yeah.
And at that point, you really don't want to reach out to them anymore because you're like, well,
Like, what is it gonna get me at that point?
are these answers going to help me at all? Or is it
Yeah.
just going to make me more upset?
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
so I didn't get the chance to do that because I was blocked. But I feel like that kind of helped me even more though, because knowing that I couldn't reach out to them, I was like, you know what?
Just
Let me
drop it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm. And this was around the time that like Matt and I started hanging out too. So it's like
Mm.
almost
You're like, well, on to the next.
on to my boss.
If you don't know the story, Cecilia used to
have I ever
work.
told that story?
I don't know.
So Matt and I'll make it short. Matt and I met in film school after like a year of us like kind of talking, but not really. I think he knew that I did like photography and editing and stuff, editing of pictures. And he asked me, wait, no, that was a different person. Not like relationship wise, but somebody asked me if I would edit their pictures. But he asked me like if I would help him with his gigs, because he was doing a lot of like videography stuff and
Mhm.
photo shoots. And I was like, yeah. And like he kind of made that into like an assistant position because I would like assistant edit his stuff. And he asked me at the Waffle on Sunset Boulevard, if you know where that is. And then I mean that we started spending a lot of time together.
A lot of time.
Yeah,
where
I met his whole friend group before we even started.
Yeah, I was like,
dating.
just your assistant?
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay.
And then he started making comments of like, oh, like Tony Stark and Pepper Potts. And I was like,
Mm.
I see where we're going. And I remember I would always like go to my coworkers at the time, and my best friend, Denise, she would like, I would tell her, and she's like, I mean, it sounds like you guys are together already. I'm like, but we're not. And then he fired me at a Cheesecake Factory in Sherman Oaks. And the way he asked me to be his girlfriend was like, I mean, everybody already thinks we are. So like, do you want to? I think he'll fight me on that and say, no, like I didn't say it like that.
It was a
but
little
that's what he said.
cheesy. It's because you guys were at the Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah.
It had to be cheesy.
So yeah, I got fired and I got promoted. But yeah, and I feel like if you are going to go through a breakup, don't expect to have everything answered, because that's also not that great of a thing. Because what if you don't want the answers, which you most likely won't? Like, it's not going to be what you're
because sometimes even if you get the real answers, it
It's gonna
may
hurt
do
even more.
it may be worse than not hearing it. You know, our next one, and this is something both Derek and I have done, is wanting to share something that's very exciting to you, and then your partner doesn't show interest. And I think sometimes I have like the worst timing, because I'll get home and I'm like wanting to just blur out whatever I have, and he'll be either doing something else and I'm just blurring it out without like saying, hey, I need you to listen to me. And he's like, what? I'm like, you didn't give me the reaction I wanted.
Yeah.
And I get upset, but at the same time, it's my fault for not getting his undivided attention. Like, hey, I want to tell you something. I just kind of blurted out, and he's doing other things. And it's like, well, he wasn't paying attention, so why would you tell him right now? So like, you're setting up yourself for failure. I'm like, and I get upset, and he's like, well, you didn't tell me you wanted to tell me something. Like, I'm doing something else. Yeah. I'm like, and I know I'm wrong, but I'm still upset because I was so excited to share these like certain news.
Yeah. I'm the opposite. So like, if I'm Derek in your situation and Matt comes home, I start like telling him all this stuff, and he's like, I just got home. It's like, I need to, and he's one of those people that needs to like have at least like 5 to 10 minutes just to decompress after work. I'm not like that, because I have like a long drive and I decompress in my car. But I like tell him, and that I know now, because for the same, he wouldn't give me the reactions I would want, and he would seem annoyed, and I would get mad. I was like, well, you're not even interested. And it's like, yeah, because he's still like stressed out from work. And on top of that, like when he's on his phone, he can't multitask, which is something that I find annoying. Because I think I'm a pretty good multitasker when I'm like in the mindset. So like, if he's talking to me when I'm on my phone, I'm like, yeah, I'm listening. I just have to do this real quick. If I start talking to him when he's texting, he's like, hold on.
Same. I can't multitask.
It bugs me so much. I'm like, just listen. But I get it, because there's been times where I'm like typing something and someone's talking to me and I start typing what they're saying without even thinking it. And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, but it's stuff like that. That's little arguments that you get into, but because you need to fully understand, okay, can this person multitask? No. Well, let them finish what they're doing, so that way I can let them know what I want to share with them. Yeah. Or can they multitask? Are they willing to do both things and give you the reaction? Yeah. So it's
like knowing the time and place to do it.
Right.
But also, if they're just not giving a shit about what you're saying, then that's like, you might want to start reevaluating the relationship.
Or talking to them like, hey, are you like, what's wrong? Like, do you not give a shit about my life and what I want to share with you?
Like, my interest, like, okay, the guys are big Star Wars fans, right? Matt, he'll figure something out, and I'll just be sitting there, and he'll be like telling me all about, like, especially with the lightsabers, because lately they've been like looking into like the more expensive ones. He's like, well, these have this, and I'm like, so it's like, I don't care, but I know that it means a lot to him. Right. So I'll like give him the attention. And if they're not willing to do that for you, they obviously don't have to do it with everything. Yeah. But like, if you're that excited about something, you want to at least like show some type of interest. Like, ask a question and be like, oh, like, what about this one? It doesn't have to be like, you have to listen to everything. Because I'll be honest, sometimes I tune some stuff out. But I listen to like some parts, and I'll be like, oh, well, what about this? And then he goes on a whole different other. It just makes them feel like they're being heard, which they are. Yeah. And you just kind of just learn about stuff.
Because that's the way he is with cars. He's like, oh, this is this. I'm like, okay. Yeah, cool. And that's how I pick up on things. Like, the other day when I went to a boba place with my coworker, and I'm like, oh, the Hyundai's coming out. Or I forgot. Oh, no, the Highlander's coming out. She's like, the what? I'm the Toyota. She's like, oh, okay. So like, and then a Subaru truck was coming out. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool Subaru truck. She's like, what? I'm like, I guess I know. I'm like, I guess I know a little bit more than what like some girls know. I'm like, look, my husband and his best friends talk a lot about cars, so I was kind of forced into knowing about these things.
You have to listen. You're tied down.
Yeah.
Also, fun fact: I did a little short video on Judy and her car enthusiastic
Oh yeah, you
stuff.
did.
Yeah, I just found it the other day. I think I sent you a little clip. That was a long time ago.
I was like, damn, I never got that.
You didn't?
No, I didn't get the makeup. The one I did with
really
Akira.
Yeah.
My
God, that teacher pissed me off. Side tangent. What's the time at?
21.
So, side tangent. Oh my God, Freddie. Hopefully you don't hear him. But the teacher I had for this commercial class was a man. And I decided for like one of the commercials, I wanted to do one for makeup. He was like, I showed my video and like when I pitched the idea to him, he's like, I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be appealing for the like audience. I'm like,
why?
You're a man. I'm a woman who wears makeup. I think I know. And he's not like a guy who wears makeup. So he's like, yeah, like you want to make it. And he was talking about like those old school commercials where it's like a model fucking walking with the thing and like showing it on a white screen or whatever.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, I literally just saw one for toothpaste. For Too Faced. Remember when they were doing those weird Peach commercials?
Oh yeah.
I was like, they literally did one of Peaches walking. So what do you want from me? And I remember I was like excited to show it and he just did not budge. He's like, yeah, I'm like, I was like, okay, Brad. Your freaking frat boy name. I don't hold grudges. I'll try to find it.
Post it up.
But yeah, and so that you can see it. And good times. Another thing I've been seeing on TikTok, which is just the generalization of like love is not enough, which I do believe in, because you could love someone with everything, but if there's no growing between the two of you, then it's like, what's the point? You know, because like you could love someone to the ends of whatever, but if they're not fulfilling you emotionally, then you might want to be like, okay, we need to figure this out. Yeah, we need to do something where we both feel like we're being, like your cup is getting filled, right, without being drained at the same time. And so that could be like Matt's what's it called, love language is gift giving, and mine is more, I mean, he says it's time and stuff, but I feel like from what I've seen, it's gift giving because he gets really excited about that. And mine is like just spending quality time. And so there was a time where he was just constantly getting me stuff, like stuff I wouldn't even ask for. And I'd be like, okay, cool. Can we spend some time together? And it's like, yeah, we both had a lot of love for each other. But at that point in the relationship, it was like, I need more. Right. And that's when you should like, again, voice talk to them. Yeah. Because if they're a good partner, they'll listen and you guys will work from there. Right. Again, I mean, this goes for everything. If they're not willing to listen to you, then on to the next. Yeah. Thank you. Next. Yeah. By Ariana Grande.
and it goes like you said, with any kind of relationship, whether it be your partner, your friend, family, anything, like if they're not willing to meet you like halfway, then why even have them in your life? Because at that point it's like, what are you doing for me then? Like, what are we doing for each other if I'm not willing? The same thing, like if you're not doing something for your partner or your friends or your family, try harder, or why are you even trying that kind of relationship?
Other than just feeling comfortable, because I've noticed a lot of people do that. If they feel comfortable in a relationship, they'll just stay, right? Just because it's like, what are they gonna do? Leave me?
You brought up arguing, like not seeing it as a who's gonna win this argument. I feel like a lot of couples see it that way. It's like, at the end of the day, if you win an argument, did you really win though? Yeah, because your partner's gonna feel like shit.
So this comes from experience with Matt and myself. When we first started dating and we would have like these little arguments and stuff, he told me that it felt like I was trying to win, which I don't know, maybe I did seem like it, but I knew at the time that that's not how arguments should go. So I told him, I was like, look, when we have an argument, it's not because I want to like win and have this over you. It's because I want to fix it because we keep arguing over the same things. So if one of us wins, it's not going to change anything because we're just going to have this argument again. And I learned that he got this from his parents because his mom literally said, like, I'm not gonna, they hurt him. His parents got in an argument one night after we had this conversation, and his mom told him, like, I'm not gonna lose this one. I'm gonna win this argument. And I think that's like the biggest fight I've ever seen happen in the house. And I was like, whoa. But he ended up giving his parents the advice that I told him. Like, this isn't about winning or losing because you're both going to feel like shit after.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So it's just looking at both sides because you want to come up with a solution that both of you give input to. That's the compromise in it.
Right.
Because if you just come up with this, like if one of us just said, let's just do this, and the other one's like, okay, it's not going to work because that person didn't put anything into that.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so they're not going to be okay with it in the end. And so,
because you're gonna end up holding resentment.
Yeah, it's like, oh, well, I'm only doing this because they told me to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what about what I want to do? And that's why you guys have to compromise again.
Right.
So, if you think of arguing like that, I think that's a very unhealthy way of thinking about it. And obviously, this could stem from like seeing your parents, which a lot of relationship stuff stems from how you see like relationships as a kid, whether it be your parents, grandparents, siblings, whatever. Because I like to think I'm friends with a lot of different people who've had a lot of different like upbringings, and I could definitely see that like it affects you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so don't feel like you're just trying to win this argument because it's not very healthy and it's kind of narcissistic.
Okay, so the next one is sharing passwords.
Yeah.
Is that healthy, unhealthy? Can it be a little bit of both?
I'm definitely like in the both area because like just from experience, if Matt or I asked to use each other's phone, I've told him my password over and over again. He just doesn't remember it. And his is very easy to remember. So I like know. And when I use his phone, I just go into it and he doesn't like freak out or anything. But I think that if you're asking for the password specifically
because
to, like,
you want to go
into
through
their and like go through their phone, that's where it gets unhealthy. Like,
okay, so say we were in a relationship, you're gonna act like the guy, and I ask you, hey, let me look through your phone. I want to see your messages, stuff like that. I can see why you would get defensive. Like, why are you being untrusting? And I would see why I would get defensive. Like, why are you being defensive? But it can be like you are getting like, it's pretty much like they're suggesting that you may be cheating, even though you may not be. And that's why you're being defensive. So like it can go both ways because like you're not cheating, but you're also upset because like, why are you thinking that I'm cheating on you, that you have to go through my phone?
Yeah.
So it can go both ways. So and you can be like, oh, here you go, like whatever. Take the phone. But some people are like, why are you being so untrusting? Like, why can't you like talk to me like, hey, I feel like you're cheating on me because this and this, and clear that up, as opposed to like, hey, give me your phone. Yeah,
that's why I don't really trust people that are like, oh yeah, like I could just take his phone and do whatever. I'm like, okay, but what about like that boundary of? Because like every time I've taken Matt's phone, it's still like, if my phone is dead and I need to look something up, and same thing, vice versa. Like he'll go on my phone and like do stuff, but he won't break that trust where he goes through my phone. Yeah, because like I don't think we've ever had a situation where it's like, let me see your messages and stuff. Right. I think we resort to talking. It's like, let's just talk this out. And we can only hope that we're being truthful with each other. But because of like our relationship at this point, we know that we have that trust. Right. Obviously, it's a little different in the beginning because you're still building it. But you have to just trust the process.
Yeah. And if you're seeing like weird things, then ask them like, hey, who's that? Or because if somebody's going to want to cheat, they're going to cheat. Yeah. We figured this out with... we had to go through this with a friend, and just the way she was telling us things, like, wow,
It's very obvious.
this person
Yeah.
went out of their way
Mhm.
to cheat. And it's like, if they're gonna want to, they're gonna do it.
Yeah, and eventually you're gonna get caught.
Sooner or later.
Yeah. But yeah. So I think it could be a good thing. It could also be like you're like dancing with the line of like toxic.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's also, I know people that do this just like as a safety thing, like in case something happens to them,
They
they're
can,
like, here, like you have my passwords and stuff like that, which I also understand.
How do you feel about like sharing like social media passwords? Like, you have the passwords, their Instagram, their Facebook, their TikTok, like all that stuff.
And they're like actively going in it. Or
Yeah,
you don't know. I guess
you don't know, yeah.
I think that's a little weird. Again, like if you're doing it for the purpose, like in case you guys need to get into it, but why do you need?
Yeah, I think that would be a little too much. Like,
Yeah.
phone thing, I get it. Sometimes you either have an emergency, you have to use a person's phone, your
Yeah.
phone died, whatever the case may be. You need to look up a contact or whatever.
Yeah.
But having their socials,
It's like you don't need anything from there.
yeah, like why would you even want that?
What do you think about couples that have a shared account?
I think they don't trust each other.
Yeah. That's exactly
Because
what
why
I-
wouldn't you be able to have your own
separate
account?
accounts? Yeah. I agree with that.
I had a friend like back in high school. He had gone to the military, and I forgot what I messaged him for. Or I think he was just like, hey, because I had seen his photo in one of the hometown buffets,
Oh.
and I was like, hey, I saw your picture at the
Uh-huh.
hometown buffet. It's pretty cool. Hope you're doing good. Blah blah blah. And tell me why his girlfriend, or I think it was his wife at the time. He's like, oh,
Why you messaging?
no, she's
Oh,
like,
okay.
I forgot what the hell she wrote. But then I was talking to him, and then they were talking in the same chat, and then they're
That's
using
weird.
the same account. I was just like, this is fucking
Did he
weird.
just sign it off? Look at the end from.
No, I can tell who was who,
Uh.
but it was so weird. He's like, okay, good night, honey. I'm like, okay. And I never messaged him again. I was like, that's a little weird.
It's weird.
I was like, all right, I hope you're doing good.
Hope you guys are happy. Yeah, I don't know. It's just weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've known a few people like that. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, it's just like, I can't. No, that's
Yeah.
it's so weird.
I could understand like you know on Instagram and TikTok, like people do couples content.
Yeah,
And like they share accounts, but that's because the whole purpose of it is to like do couple content.
Right.
But if you're like legit just using it for everything, that's like, all right. Got it.
And which brings us to sharing photos or sharing just things about that you have a partner. Some people see it as a red flag, like, hey, he or she's posting like all these things, she's going out, he's going out, they're doing this, but they never post their significant other. Do you feel like that can be a red flag?
I think same as the sharing passwords thing. I could see it either or. And I have not a friend, but like I know of somebody whose boyfriend does that. He posts a lot of pictures with other girls, but never with her. And so like I get it because it's his job. He's like a content creator, and I'm like, all right, but you guys have been together for like 6-7 years. Like you're never gonna post
Like once in a while, you should be posting.
like just like a cute little thing, you know, especially because they post a lot of like like happy birthday stories and stuff, and I've never seen them do it for her birthday or for like their anniversary. Everything I see is from her account.
Oh, so she's doing it.
Yeah.
Is he tagging him?
Is she tagging him? Yeah.
But he's not reposting.
No. So like she has like a decent following too, obviously not as big as this guy, but and I'm sure some like fans of his have found her some way, but it's like stuff like that. I'm like, okay, like why?
Yeah.
Like, what do you? Because another thing is like, if you just like you said, if you're just private, then yeah, like why?
Yeah,
if you post once a year, why?
Yeah. Or even if like for example, I'm more active on social media than Derek is. I think his last picture was like when Joey was a few
Born.
months. He was like a few months. So he's on social media to like look at things
But
for
not
like
post.
entertaining, but not to post. He's not one that likes to post. And he's not one that likes to be on social media, like his pictures. So if you look at my account, I don't think I have many pictures of him on my Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even really post them on my stories. And that's because I respect the fact that he doesn't want to be on
Yeah.
it. But if somebody were able, like, if we were to blow up and like, hey, like Judy talks about her husband all the time, but she never posts him, it's like, they can think like, oh, you know, she's
there's
hiding
something iffy
him or
there.
whatever. It's like, no, it's because my partner literally
Yeah, he
doesn't want to
doesn't
be on
want-
social media. So like, I'm going to respect that. Even when I do TikToks, usually it's like the back of like behind or like very minimal exposure of his face,
Yeah,
just because he doesn't want to be on social media. It's
Yeah.
like, and that can be the case for some people, but from the outside you can be like, wow, that's kind of
weird.
yeah.
Why?
Judy, why are you hiding your husband?
No, but I get that. Like, you want to, obviously, your partner, it's between you guys. So if it doesn't bug them and it bugs the other people looking into your relationship, who cares?
Yeah.
Because they don't know it. And you don't have to tell
Explain
them
yourself,
why.
yeah.
So that's where I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it. And then there's other things where I'm like, And I've also seen some people that, like, they did it with their ex and they don't want to do it again just in case they break
that's
up again. And
true.
it's like, why are you going in with the mentality that we're going to break up?
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's why I think it's like, it could go in either.
Yeah.
Either
And
way.
even if you do feel like that, okay, the first couple months, don't post
Yeah.
them. And then when you feel like, okay, this is getting serious, I feel like this is, gonna last, then at that point,
Yeah.
you can start posting again. If that really is your reason.
Yeah.
I get it. New relationships, you don't want to start sharing because, okay, what if you like
Yeah.
break up within the first month? Like, and
Yeah.
then people start asking, like, hey, what happened to this person?
Exactly, yeah. I think for me, if I didn't post Matt, I think it would look a little weird because if you look at my Instagram, I think I'm always with like other people in my pictures. Because I don't know, I did that unconsciously and then I started looking at it, I was like, whoa, I'm never alone. So I feel like I'd question myself, like, why don't I post? And then if you look at Matt, he's one of those people that doesn't really post that much. But like the last 5 or something posts, it's like my face. So, I mean, whatever you and your partner are comfortable with, if you guys don't want to post each other, that's cool. Like, don't feel like that's...
Like, you're obligated to.
Yeah.
Especially in the world we live in with social media, like, everybody's, like, so, like, into, like,
Yeah.
oh, let me go follow him, stalk him, and do this and that. It's like, get over it.
Yeah. And honestly, I'm like that. If I find, like, this couple on TikTok, I'm like, whoa. And then I go to their Instagram, and I, like, find... then they're private. I'm like, I'm not going to follow them. So, yeah. That's our little relationship.
Yep.
Episode. It's been a while since we've done a relationship one.
I know.
We did like a good amount in the very beginning.
Yeah.
So if you've been with us since then,
If you're the OG.
here's a little taste. Yeah, I think we might try doing a little something spooky next week. Right? Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, we'll see. Don't keep your hopes up. But yeah, if you want to follow us on anything,
Instagram.
Well, TikTok and Instagram, at 2 Girls on a Mic. Our personal ones are in the description below. And with that being said, you guys will hear and see us on the next one.
Bye.